Once again, the woke go on a bender, asking grade school kids about their gender. Elementary students in Oregon recently received a so-called health survey that asked them to define their sexuality. My doctor asks me that all the time. Weird thing is, he's a podiatrist. Kids as young as 11 were asked whether they feel gay, straight, queer, or, quote, something else. But here's the kicker. They got 12 gender options to choose from, including such instant classics as two-spirit, agender, demi-boy, and demi-girl. What? No demi-more? I've been identifying as her to use the ladies' room at Planet Fitness. Sign a lot of autographs. Actually, I'm tri-binary. If I can buy it, I'll try it. Oregon State Health Authority says the survey is voluntary and anonymous. Voluntary and anonymous. Hey, if it works for glory holes. Yeah, I went there. I mean, I went to the joke. And I guess the choice to be groomed is up to the kids. According to its website, it's part of a new plan to, quote, ensure that all Oregon youth are healthy and successful learners. Because nothing makes kids more successful at learning than being probed by creepy bureaucrats. Many parents are outraged about this survey, which the school district reportedly conducted in the past without telling mom and dad. And yeah, it's anonymous. You know, it seems like they want the kids' parents in the dark. Now, what kind of adult stranger would prefer that? But you know, I remember when the only ones hiding stuff from parents were actually the students. Man, I still remember where I used to hide those hustlers. Steve and Vic. Those guys were a barrel of laughs. Mainly because I kept them in a barrel. And they cried more than laughed.
Just admit you had magazines. Tried to cover it all up like, yeah, it was two hustlers.
Between the mattress.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you kept them.
Yep.
Hotep, where are the adults? This is driving me crazy. What happened to, like, teachers and doctors and leaders? How did we let this poisonous garbage kind of basically spew into our educational system and like nobody's stopping it? There's not one person going, no, this is crazy. It freaks me out.
Well, at this point, there are more genders than Baskin-Robbins has flavors of ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay? So before they assign me a gender, I decided to pick out my own gender. So I chose astral gender. This is a real gender, a 72 list, blah, blah, blah. So an astral gender is someone who identifies with outer space. And I chose this because I need to get the hell off this planet.
I like that.
So I call this the grooming bill. That's exactly what this is, right? But I represent Hotep Nation. Hotep Nation is all about supporting the homeschooling community. It exists. We don't have to transfer people. People are moving there in droves, but we want to start pushing people to homeschooling. That's what we do. And I think this bill is a huge red alert and signal that people need to start homeschooling.
Yeah, definitely one part of that. Kat, again, this falls into that concept of age appropriateness. Like even if I said questionnaire is fine, but why? What do they have against the concept of age appropriateness to be able to say this is not for a kid? Yeah. You're supposed to be a racist or a bigot if you say that?
Yeah, in the 6th grade, I would not have known what any of this stuff was. In the 6th grade, I was super innocent, though. I remember before school one day, I burned my neck with a curling iron. And then at school, everyone was like, is that a hickey? And I didn't know what that was. So I just said, yeah. And then I found out what it was, and I was like, oh, no. But then I was like, that makes me sound kind of cool.
Yeah.
But of all the language in this whole situation that makes me mad, the thing that makes me the most mad is government funded, because we should call it what it actually is, which is taxpayer funded.
Yeah.
Because you go to prison if you don't pay your taxes. But then this is what they're spending that money on.
Exactly. I would prefer to go to prison rather than have my kids being taught this. It's disgusting, Carly. You're about to pop out a baby.
I am.
I mean, like, this world is...
Oh, my God, what's happening? Right now.
I can do it.
So I think this is why several counties in Oregon have literally voted to secede from the state and become a part of Idaho. And I think Idaho just needs to take a minute at this point as a public service. But you are absolutely right about how wild this trend is, where adults are so interested in talking to kids about sex now. And when people question them, they claim the moral high ground.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to. If you are interested in talking to an 11-year-old about their sexual preference, there's really something wrong with you. And some of these are so weird. Two-spirit is a term that was created in the 1990s, so relatively new, at the Indigenous Lesbian and Gay International Gathering in Winnipeg. Do you remember that?
I like the name Winnipeg.
And it describes Native people in their communities who fulfill a traditional third gender. An 11-year-old is supposed to figure that one out?
They've turned sex education into perv education.
Yeah.
Or just a perv hobby. Like, if you want to talk to kids about their sex, you're a psycho.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know, Tyrus, don't children have enough problems that you have to... If there's something, like, what? Shouldn't these teachers be terrified of you, Tyrus? Shouldn't they be... I'm not going to talk to his kids about...
Well, I don't have that issue because I'm down to one. All my kids are homeschooled. I pulled them all out. Not playing with that stuff. Two, I don't see the difference. There used to be a TV show on called Catch a Predator.
Right.
And what was the big thing?
Trying to get
A
me.
grown man talking to a 15-year-old about sex.
Yeah.
That was despicable, deplorable. He was arrested. The police dragged him out. Now that guy can come to school and talk to everyone. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely no difference. My 11-year-old, and I'm kind of an expert because I have 3 11-year-olds, all different diversities. So I know what I'm doing. International here when I'm dealing with my
United Nations.
Yes, of children, and across the board. They have enough time remembering the chores they have to do, let alone the gender.
Yeah.
The only one who's clever enough is the 8-year-old who would say any of those things to get out of stuff.
Yes.
I'd be like, go to bed. I'm two-spirit. I don't identify with clocks. She's clever. Where the 11-year-old would be like, Dad, I've never heard of any of these candies. I have no idea. Are these candies good or bad? So my children are innocent and homeschooled, and the 8-year-olds watch closely. But I won't allow a stranger to talk to my children about the weather, let alone, like, if you come up to my child, be like, hello, you will be greeted.
Yes.
What you need, I'm right here.
That's what it blows my mind. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. If a teacher did this, they would be disappeared. Something would happen. It's just so bizarre.
But it goes back to, it's a small percentage pretending to be larger than what it is.
Yeah,
And that
true.
small percentage right now are hiding behind, again, femininity and education, but it's the same thing as if it was a dirty old, because when it's a dirty old man who does it on the internet, he's a pedophile, and I don't see the difference.
Yeah. All right, we got to move on.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.